Hello! Today on my vlog I thought I would talk to you about where I get my ideas. More specifically where I got the one for Whispered Darkness, which is the novel I have coming out from Month 9 Books next spring. Every author tells you they dream about things and they put it in their books. And I'm no exception, but apparently I don't have normal dreams. I didn't know there were normal dreams. My roommate and I were talking about things and, she'll come out and be like, oh, I had a dream about being trapped in the room with my kids and they locked the door and we couldn't get out and we were stuck there and, or I was in the car and I was driving but I didn't know where I was going. My dreams are more like, we went to a roller coaster and we were riding the roller coaster and we careened out of control, ran off the track, landed in a pool of water, but it was abandoned and we weren't supposed to be there anyway, but we were being chased by these things, so we decided to take a break and go on a roller coaster. And then I couldn't find you because you'd been eaten by monsters, and apparently that's not normal. But most of my dreams are like that. Weird stuff happens. Lots of things make it in my dreams. Part of the end of A Whispered Darkness was part of a dream. And I remember waking up and being like, this is awesome. Creepy, and I don't want to go back to sleep, but this is great. It'll totally work in the book. I also love ghost stories, urban legends, fairy tales, anything like that. All the ghost TV shows, the true stories, the dramatizations, ghost hunters, all of those I will watch in a heartbeat. And they're utterly ridiculous sometimes, and sometimes they're more fun to heckle than they are to actually watch for, real research or whatever you want to call it. I remember watching one, I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it was a dramatization of a true ghost story, and they moved into this house, and there was something horribly wrong with it, but nobody could figure out what. And then they make this discovery. I looked at it and I was like, oh, interesting. So I took part of that and I was like, I could expand on this and make this into something really cool for this book. And it had been it solved sort of a puzzle piece that I had been missing because I was writing this book and I couldn't quite make things go from A to B without stopping somewhere in the middle, and I couldn't figure out what that was. And I watched the show and it was like a light bulb went off. So I love those shows. Those are always interesting. And I love basing things on fairy tales, especially obscure ones that not many people have heard of, because you have more room to sort of wiggle and make your own mythology with it. I wrote a book called Slack Tide several years ago that's based on selkies. And there's not a lot out there. I mean, there's some basic things that you kind of have to stick with, but for the most part, I kind of made up my own little world that went with it because there wasn't a whole lot to go on. So making up your own and using ghost stories and folk tales for bases for things is great. I love rereading fairy tale retellings. I'd love to write one, but I haven't figured out which one I'd like to do. My favorite fairy tale of all time is The Goose Girl. If you don't know what it is, you should look it up. It could explain a lot of things about me, but it's really awesome. It's not a watered down version like many fairy tales are now. They've taken all the teeth out of the fairy tales. The Goose Girl, the horse's head gets cut off and they hang it on a gate, but it still talks to her, and, there's blood drops and they talk to her. It's awesome. It's a little gory, but it's awesome. So anyway, hopefully this gave you some insight. If you'd like to know more, if I should do a different video or a vlog on that, leave a comment. Thanks for stopping by.